Become a Miami art globetrotter. Find artwork inspired by Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and around the world at Art of Black Miami. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Small Business Saturday Shout Out. I'm your host, Alicia Couri. Today's show, we're going to talk about fitness after 40, especially for us women. You know, we are challenged sometimes. And we're also going to talk about discovering your passion and your purpose that could lead to prosperity. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. Well, hello again. I'm Alicia Couri. Welcome to the show. And I want to start off just by saying thank you so much for your patience. I know last week the show was scheduled to air last week, and because I am who I am, and I think I can do all. The show was scheduled like 3 days post surgery for me, and realized, you know what, maybe I should take a little bit of extra time to recoup. So, because I couldn't even comb my own hair. I couldn't comb my hair. I couldn't put on makeup. So look, today, hair's done, makeup's on. I made it. So it's been a week and a half, and we made it here. So thank you to my guests who rescheduled and came back so that we can do this today. And I am super, super excited to have these amazing women on the show with us to share their expertise, their small business with you. And you know what? It is actually Small Business Saturday today. So I want you to shop small business. I want you to check out small businesses. I know everybody's shopping. We're shopping for Black Friday and shopping all over, but don't forget to check out the small businesses in your neighborhood, in your area. And this is kind of why the show started, to promote and to really expose small businesses to a larger audience. So now, let me give you my thank yous and all my stuff that I usually start the show with. So thank you guys who are watching us on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Twitch. We really appreciate you joining us and tuning in. This show also has a group attached to it. So our group is on Facebook. And if you have a small business, if you're a coach, a consultant, if you have a brick and mortar business, whatever your small business is, you are welcome to join our community over on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/SBSSO, which stands for Small Business Saturday Shout Out. And in that group, you can promote whatever it is you have going on. So if you got some promotions going on right now, you can go in that group and you can promote what you have going on. You can do live videos if you like. It's a place for small businesses to really share what they have. So go on over to that group on Facebook if you would like to join us. I want to let you know that this show is sponsored by FAMU Mary, as well as the Greater Miami Visitors and Convention Bureau and Audacious Concepts, Inc. And the show is produced by Red Carpet CEO. If you'd like to, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, there are three, well, not just a guest, but if you'd like a shout out, let me put it that way. If you'd like a shout out on the show, there are 3 ways you can get a shout out. And the 3 ways are this. 1, you can leave a comment. So if you have a small business or, you want to start a small business, just leave me a comment in the comment box. Say who you are, what your business is, and if you want, drop your website, how people can reach you in the comments, and I will shout you out throughout the show. I will give you a shout out on the show. So you can leave a comment. That's the first way. The second way is you can do a commercial. You can do a 30-second commercial. Send us a 30-second commercial, and I'll play it during the show. That's another way you and your business can get a shout out. And the third way you can get a shout out is to be a guest. And how do you be a guest? You just email us, support@aliciacouri.com, and you can become a guest. Or you can DM me if you're connected to me on any social media platform. Just DM me and you can be a guest. So let's see what else I want to share with you. And if you're wondering why my thumb is in a brace, yeah, because 2 weeks before surgery, I actually hurt my thumb on a flight. So, I couldn't do anything for myself for like the last month and a half. I've been in recovery for the last month and a half. I want to actually, I'm going to go ahead and start with my next guest because she is fabulous and I want to bring her up. So, Becca, let me tell you about Becca Tebon. Becca, I've known Becca for many years, and she says that what if 17 minutes could change your life? Can you imagine seizing your adversities and struggles and suddenly learning how to thrive while strengthening your mind and body simultaneously? She's the creator of the 17-minute Hey Beauty workout and PowHERbands, total body resistance bands. Utilizing her 17-minute training method, the system was developed after Becca's spinal neuropathy caused her to no longer be able to hold 10-pound dumbbells. Becca has coached thousands to overcome self-esteem and confidence challenges in a short period by combining tools she's created over the past 4 decades. Yes, I said 4 decades. You're not going to believe it when you see her, but 4 decades. Becca is compassionate and successfully teaches her clients how to become advocates for their health and life and live more positively, losing fat, retaining muscle, better balance, stability, and the beauty mentality resetting each day. So, welcome to the show, Becca.
Hi, everybody. How are you? I am super excited. I got to tell you something. Alicia and I go back way back, and to watch how you have rebranded yourself, how you have grown. I remember your first time on stage thinking, wow, look at her go. And you guys, just watching her grow. And I remember being at your first book signing, right?
Yes, you were there. Yeah.
We have shared some incredible moments together, and I am so honored to be on your show. And I'm so glad you're doing well and you're recovering so fast. I find this girl is just the get it done. She is audacious. You know what? When she told me that she was having, some surgery and then going to do this show, like 4 days later, I'm thinking, maybe you should just take the time off, and God made it perfect for her. And so I am glad that you were able to, receive the quietness, because I don't think you sit quiet very well, do you?
I do not. That's one of my biggest challenges.
Yeah, I don't sit quiet very well either, but
Neither do you.
definitely. But I'm going to tell you, I sit better than you do. But I'm really glad, really, really glad, and really, really humbled to be here. And you have such an amazing show. This is such an honor and such an amazing show. So,
Thank you,
yay.
Becca.
Yeah.
But it's all about you. It's all about you. I appreciate it so much. And I thank you
I love
for
it being all
encouraging
about
me.
me. No.
Yeah, I thank you for encouraging me to
It's
take the
not all
time
about
off.
me. It's about what I do. And
Yeah,
there is a
it's
difference.
for others. It's really for other women out there. So
100%.
I want you to take us back. And again, I said 4 decades, people. She looked like she has 4 decades. She started when she was in preschool. She started teaching people how to get fit in preschool.
Right.
So tell everybody how your journey started with fitness and health.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm actually proud to say I'm 58, and I share that only because, I look at some of these amazing women who were in their 60s, 70s, 80s when I was in my 20s, And one of the gals who was actually at that time a head aerobics instructor, which I fell into by accident, into aerobics. And that was my, like, that's where things started really taking off in the fitness world. But she was in her 40s, and I was like, she's in dang better shape than I am in her 40s. And so I used to ask her, you know, what does she eat? What does she do? And you know what? I got to tell you, there's a thing called the blue zone, and it's more than just eating and working out. I hate to say it. I mean, like you're going to say, like, what do you eat? What do you do, Becca? It's definitely being consistent. And we'll talk about that and how to gain that consistency muscle. But in the blue zone, there's 5 areas that intertwine no matter where these blue hairs, that's how they got the name blue zone. All around the world, there's 5 areas that have 100, a high efficacy of people who are over 100 years old, and not just over 100, but thriving in their hundreds.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yep.
I started studying my clients that were in their 60s, 70s, and 80s back in the day. So I've always, and what I found is it is aligned with what Dan Buettner has written in the Blue Zone. Okay. And so it is inner philosophy and purpose, right? To have a purpose, live with purpose, to have community, to have a faithful life, to eat, and to have movement. When you have all 5 of those things, you are in a higher destination for longer thriving in a better space. And
Wow.
maybe easier said than done, but it's just looking at one area at a time. And before we even get into it, Alicia, I want to offer everybody who's watching this right now to go to my website. Hopefully it's not broken, because we're undergoing rebranding as we speak, and we're a little bit behind the ball, but there's a quiz, an assessment that you can take. It's called the Lifestyle Transformation Quiz, and it's something that I do with my clients. You're welcome to do it. It breaks into those 5 areas of our well-being, and there's 10 archetypes in each. And when you answer the questions, it takes about 3 minutes. You will see exactly where you want to spend some more of your time so that you are feeling and thriving and growing much the same way this gal and I have done over the last couple of decades.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with everybody, because that's an important thing to really identify where you need to put more right, because you can't go anywhere if you don't know where you are.
You got to know where you are. Yeah, you got to know where you are. It's like planning a holiday party, right?
Any trip.
You plan the date. Yeah, you plan the date. You know everything about the date, what you're going to serve, what you're going to decorate, who you're going to invite, and then you have the date, and then you back, you reverse engineer so that you can hit your date and your goal. It's the same thing with your health, you guys. People want to make it so complicated. It's not that complicated. Make yourself a nice, easy goal. Obviously, first see where you are. Make yourself a nice, easy goal. Maybe 1 week, maybe 3 days. I have a 3-day sugar detox. Do something that is so doable for 5 to 7 days, and then just rinse off and repeat it.
Right. Yep.
That's the simplicity. We can get into a lot more science, and we will, I'm sure, as we dive into some of the conversations, because I'm such a researcher and so much in the science. But to answer your question, so I was born with 3 congenital health challenges: pulmonary, digestive, and skeletal. And as a result of that, at 4 years old, was in massive pain. I was in and out of hospitals and doctor's offices from the time I was born. I missed 20% of my elementary school years. And by the time I was 7, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I had speech problems. And because of dyslexia, I had memory and medication, had memory and comprehension problems. So I wasn't really thought about as being the smartest one in the room. We'll just say it like that. There was very low expectations of me. I missed so much school. I didn't have tutors back then. Catching up was unheard of. We just let Becca just keep going. And so I became self-taught in my later teens, really in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah.
Much on a self-taught basis. But In between that, owned an advertising agency for 11 years, but never thought about myself as being successful or smart, or even understood my story until I was in my late 40s. And at that point, been hit by cars twice, and then got hit by a car again in my 50s. And so that was it. The neuropathy was already bad. My spine, as I said, I had spinal problems. They didn't think I'd be walking at this age. I started working out at 7 years old. So you asked me where I really started. I started working out at 7 years old. I had a six-pack at 7 years old because a doctor said if I didn't have a strong core,
Spine. You need a strong core,
my
right?
spine would not be able to sustain me. And
Mm,
so it's been about muscle retention and
yeah,
strength my entire life. And it is what I brush my teeth, I breathe, I volunteer, I work out. It's like, it is my lifestyle. And when I hear people say that they don't like working out, I'm like, you haven't met a workout that you like yet. It's not that you don't like working out. You just haven't found something that works with you, with a coach that you can relate to, and something that feels fun, because it
yeah,
should be fun, right?
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
You're big
I
into
love that.
working out. Well,
And
you're big into working out too. I see you all the time with your running and keeping in
well,
shape.
I had to stop the running, but that's a whole other story. Because I am working with a health coach too. I think I told you I was working with Lydia on hormonal balances and stuff for my own situation,
Right.
and what we discovered, part of it, the running that I was doing was actually putting more stress on my body, so I had to stop running as much as I had to stop the running to and that's the important thing of having a coach or someone in your corner that really understands what your body needs,
Yeah.
because if you're following after what someone else says, like I did my 7-minute run, and that was working for me until it wasn't working for me anymore, right?
Right. Right.
And then having someone come in from the outside looking in, that's a professional, an expert that knows the science and understands the body and understands all these things, can come in and say, you know what, that's actually putting more stress on your
Yeah.
body. It's more
Yeah.
stress on your adrenals than you need to have in this position that you're in right now, and it's really creating more havoc on your hormones. So we have to adjust that. So because I got injured and then I had surgery, I have to readjust how I work out now. So, but tell
So
me about, oh,
well,
go
I just
ahead. You
wanted to
have
go
something.
into that for a moment, because everybody who's out there, listen to that, because I also had adrenal fatigue. I was considered type 2 diabetic. They weren't putting me on medicine. I actually found it, asked for the H1C test. Your doctors won't necessarily pull these tests on you. So if you're tired all the time, that's one of the first things you should do, because once you understand your tiredness, and your adrenals, when they're tapped, they mess up with your thyroid, they mess up with your hormones, your estrogen, your testosterone,
Mhm.
everything. Okay. And so it's not as simple, but it is able. I fixed it myself within 3 weeks. And
Mm,
so balancing hormones is not complicated, but it's important. And if you're not feeling good, you need to understand that you can't just do what you're doing and expect different changes. And you can't do what your neighbor's doing because they lost all the weight, or they're doing this and they feel good, or they say they're feeling good. You don't really know how somebody's feeling. You only
mhm.
really know how you're feeling. If you're tired after you eat within 15 to 45 minutes, there's a problem. Your glucose levels are off.
Yeah.
If you wake up tired, there's a problem. And it could be not getting enough hydration, not enough sleep, not enough magnesium. There's like a lot of things. And so unless you get like an intracellular testing done, and I help people understand and get down to the nitty-gritty on all this. So don't worry about the science on this. I'm just saying.
Yeah. She's just
It's
saying.
I'm just saying, you don't have to worry about the complication of it. You let somebody who knows what they're doing. I am a certified holistic health coach. I have supported thousands of women on their journey, and my children as well. on myself. I was on so much medication. It was at 19 years of age that I decided I was going to take back my health. I was on prednisone, albuterol, and Singulair from the time I was born until 19. I was constipated for the first 19 years. Nobody ever said anything about anything. I would just get more medicine, right?
Yeah.
Fix the problem that I had. If I ate and my stomach hurt, which was after I had steak all the time, I would go into my room, cry, almost want to throw up. They would give me, sorry if you're eating while I'm talking. They would give me some medicine to calm my stomach or help me relieve myself. Right. So it was a constant cycle. And so
Of medication upon
19 years of
medication.
age,
Yeah.
at 19 years of age, I threw javelin at the University of Florida. And at that point, I realized nutrition, like nobody ever talked about nutrition. And my dad was the most intelligent, best pharmacist in the world, but he was scholared like a doctor. And so medicine was supposed to make you feel good. Well, it made me feel good, but it didn't fix the problem. So at 19
Yeah.
years of age, I learned about self-advocacy and health. And so at that point, I got a job at GNC, learned about herbs, vitamins, supplementation, and essential oils. And off I went on my path to change my food, change what I was putting in my body. And lo and behold, got off of all of my asthmatic bronchitis and chronic pain meds, and also stopped my osteopenia. Because of those meds, I was on my way to having osteoporosis.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I need to talk to you about something else after all
So,
of this.
okay, so
So,
strength training is very important. And
yeah.
thank God I have strength trained and continue to strength train with the PowHERbands on a
Yes.
daily basis. In addition to, you can't see it back there, I have a rebounder. My favorite is by a company called Jump Sport. And I even have a handle on it.
I have one of those. Yep.
Yeah, and I jump 15 minutes, I bounce, I rebound 15 minutes a day. And it's as a result of that that I have been able to stymie all the back issues. Now imagine having 9 congenital spine that are like collapsed, right? I have 9 that are completely degenerated. 9. I've lost an inch because of the degeneration. I had
Wow.
so much pain, unbelievable pain my entire life. And I have 0. My inflammation level in my entire body is 1% in my neck. And so I eat an anti-inflammatory based diet for the most part. Right
Yeah.
now, not so much, right?
Listen,
But
yeah, we just had Thanksgiving, so sometimes, we eat stuff but the great thing is you know what to do to put your body back into alignment.
and exactly, and that's what I call resetting, right? And that's why I am big on reset. We're just rebranding with a reset revolution, because the reset revolution kind of encompasses everything that we do. And the philosophy that I want you guys to think about right now, get out your sticky note, because I am so big on sticky notes. Sticky notes will help you 64% hit your goals than just thinking them or putting something in your calendar. How often do we put something in our calendar, but we don't do it? But put it on your sticky note and stick that sticky note where it needs to be sought. On your cell phone, first thing in the morning, that reminds you to get your morning magic on. I'm all about morning magic. If you're a late night eater in front of the TV, stick something like with a heart, I love me, on your remote
Remote.
control.
Yeah.
If you've
Oh
got,
god.
if you've got stuff in your house that somebody else is eating and you don't want it, clean out a pantry that's all about you and decorate it. So when you open it up, it's like it's shining, you're feeling good. And every time you make a good decision, physically pat yourself on the back and say, yeah, woo, I did good. Celebrate every little thing. Make it so that you're making a party around yourself and your choices all day long, and you will see that you start to make those changes that you want to be, because it's not by choice that you're going to do it, that you're going to make those changes.
Yeah.
It's not by chance, sorry, it's by
It's by
choice.
intention and purpose and choice. And Becca, I'm sorry we've run out of time. This is so good. I do want to ask you about beauty mentality, because that was part of my story too, is this developing this beauty mentality. And you talked about your story before, and how you were kind of like left to your own devices to find out about yourself, and having everybody kind of say, well, you're slow, or you didn't, all the things that were
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
How were you able to kind of reset that and create a mentality of beauty and health and strength for yourself?
So as I said, I felt better physically when I kept moving. I never really thought about myself as beautiful. And it's funny because we started out this venture with this group called the Divas, and it just didn't seem right. I like the audacious veil of being a diva, but
Mhm.
it just didn't feel right. And then I call everybody beauty because I want them to, I'm going to start crying. I want them to feel beautiful. The women in my tribe, a lot of them come not feeling whole, not feeling wholesome.
Mhm.
There's, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, you're going through so much transformation, transition, people leaving your home, right? And so for me, we made an acronym for beauty. I think you have one too, but
Yeah, I did.
my B is bold. Show up boldly for yourself, knowing that this is your first step in creating the life, the vibrant life, the authentic, full life of health and possibilities that you want. The E stands for embracing your energy in all forms, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because when you live on a higher level of energy, your momentum is going to just keep on going. It's like those balls that hit each other and they just
Yeah.
keep swinging, right? If you stop, if you hold one, everything is going to slow down. So pick it up, start in the morning, and just keep it going,
We
right?
got 30
And you do
seconds, Becca.
uh, aware of yourself, the people around you, and just be the superpower reflection. You is unapologetic, be unapologetic for who you are, and know that you are enough. Don't go to the old story. Be thankful is your teeth. Have enormous gratitude every day. And the why is so important, to know your why, to be curious, and to be intentional in what you want internally and externally.
Thank you so much, Becca. Listen, everybody, you got to go connect to Becca. Go to beccatebonfit.com. You'll find out more about the power bands, about the Hey Beauty, the 17-minute workout. Just go connect to her, and connect to her on social media. She's all over Facebook and Instagram. So go connect with her. Thank you so much, Becca. Love you. And we'll stay in touch.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Happy
you're very,
holidays,
very welcome.
everybody.
Take care. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Becca. Again, go to beccatebonfit.com. That's BECCATEBONFIT.com. And hopefully we have time at the end. We'll bring Becca back up with our other guests. But right now, we need to take a quick break to thank our sponsors. Thank you for joining us today. This episode is produced by Red Carpet CEO, a proud member of BOMA, the Black-Owned Media Alliance, advocating to close the disparity in advertising for Black-owned media. This show is sponsored by Audacious Concepts, Inc., a boutique consulting firm that provides audacious solutions to those nagging and persistent people problems clogging your revenue pipeline. For more information, visit audaciousconceptsinc.com. Now, here's a word from our other sponsors.
FAMU's Mary educates diverse communities about medical marijuana and the consequences of illegal marijuana use in Florida. Hear advice from leaders in your community. Listen to the podcast, watch the video cast to know all the facts. Follow Mary Forum Radio on social. Take the free basic education course and test your knowledge. Find answers to all of your marijuana questions and visit mary.famu.edu. That's mmeri.famu.edu. And join the conversation. Mary, educate, learn, talk.
Become a Miami Art Globetrotter. Find artwork inspired by Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and around the world at Art of Black Miami. Hey, I'm back. So, if you want to know more about Art of Black Miami, you can go to the website miamiandbeaches.com. Art Basel is coming around in just a few days. So, if you're in the South Florida area and you want to know more about Art of Black, go to miamiandbeaches.com and check that out. Also, if you want to find out more about the legal use of medical marijuana, please visit mary.famu.edu to find out more. All right. So, thank you so much for joining us today. And I saw in the comments there, Couri, thank you. I am. Thank you so much, Couri. Don't forget, you can get a shout out if you put your name and your business and how people can reach you in the comments. And I will give you a shout out before the end of the show today. So let me bring up my next guest. So just hang tight. Welcome back to Small Business Saturday Shoutout. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and on today's show, we have Pamela Lockley. She is the founder and CEO of, there we go. Pamela Lockley is the founder and CEO of Passion Plus Purpose Equals Prosperity. Pamela serves as a life coach and facilitates helping others discover and cultivate their unlimited God-given potential. Pamela shows driven women how to create dream businesses centered around their passions and purpose. Most women aren't experiencing the level of fulfillment that they deserve because they choose career over passion. Pamela has created a 90-day Purpose to Prosperity masterclass that implements practical, bite-sized strategies for starting and growing a successful business. The masterclass will deliver systems that include hands-on instructions for identifying and attracting your ideal client, business planning and financial forecasting, how to easily design pretty and profitable ads, pricing strategies. Ooh, we need pricing strategies, ladies. Group coaching sessions with seasoned, successful entrepreneurs, and a 1-year subscription to a business reference library, and so much more. My goodness. Pamela, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited to be on your show today.
Pamela, you have created this coaching business. What really inspired you to do that?
Well, honestly, I was laid off. I had a wonderful corporate job, high paying job, great benefits, was moving well into my career, thinking about retirement, smooth sailing. So one day I got called into the conference room with half of my department. We all had everything laid out in front of us. Our exit packages were there. And the CEO came in and talked to us, and human resources was there. And we had no clue. So
Wow.
I had to do something, and I wanted to do something at that point that was more meaningful to me.
Wow. That's that's a gut punch, right? and
It
then
was.
and then
It
you
really
think,
was.
okay, what do I really want to do now? Because now you're a choice. You can choose to do the next thing, or you can wallow and say, "Oh, woe is me." And so you chose to start this practice. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I did have a moment. To be honest with you, I went home probably for that first week, and I was like, "What am I going to do?"
Mm,
But I soon got over that. I did a little self talk, a little self coaching, and I said, "This is not the end. This is the springboard to a beginning of something new and exciting. And I'm going to utilize my skill sets and my experiences and roll that into something phenomenal to help other people."
I love it. I love it. And you know, like I read in your bio, a lot of people choose a career not necessarily following after their passion. And then they start a side thing that is really their passion, but then it's just a little thing. It's not nothing big, you know, making a little money here or there, and not realizing that that little thing could actually be their much bigger than what they're making it out to be, because they're committed to their career, their business, their job, you know, that's bringing in the money. So how, this is really my question in this is, how can you really tell whether your career is just something that you're doing, or if it's what you were designed to do, if it's really your passion and your purpose?
Well, it all relates to how you feel every day. How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Are you excited to begin your day and do what you do? Do you love what you do? Would you do it for free? Is this something that was this is this something that comes naturally to you? And it all goes back to, how do you feel about what you're doing? And the big question is, would you do it for free?
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is there may be some people listening to this who've never even thought. You know, sometimes we're so in our hamster wheel, we're so in the day to day, just doing everything, and we're not accessing or really connecting to those emotions. I interviewed someone who, she wrote a book about burnout, because she's like, I was crying on my way to work every single day, and I didn't realize that um, until I completely had a breakdown, that something was wrong. So if it can just start with that thing in your stomach as you wake up in the morning, that you know, if you could start noticing those things before it gets to a complete nervous breakdown, that's when you have to start thinking, maybe I should start thinking about something else. And that's when you have to connect to someone like Pamela, who can help you sift through and navigate what you're actually going through and where you are. You know, my guest before was talking about, you know, find where you are. You have to understand where you are first.
Exactly, exactly. And another clue is, on Sunday night, how are you feeling about what you're going to
Monday
face
morning.
on Monday morning? Now, granted, some of us may love to hang on to the weekend because we're enjoying family time, we're relaxed and everything like that. And we don't want to work all the time. But if you're really feeling sick on Sunday night and you have a pain in your stomach and you have a headache, then that's a clue that your Mondays are not what they should be. So
Mm,
you should be fundamentally happy Monday through Friday, and
Friday.
then of course we're going to be happy over the weekend. But why are you
Yeah,
wasting Monday through Friday? You should enjoy your life to the fullest every day.
I agree. I agree. So, so you help women identify what that is, you know, find their passion, find their purpose, start something, start your business while you're still in your job or your career. We're not asking you to just throw everything away and come over here. You're helping them like build something that then when they have the choice, they can move into that when they feel ready to do that. Is that correct?
Exactly, exactly. Because no one wants to be in the uncomfortable position of going into work one day and having to figure out what they're going to do for their livelihood all of a sudden. You want to have that income, that steady income, to use to build your business, because entrepreneurship is not easy. I'm not going to say this is something that's going to be easy, but anything that's worth its value is worth fighting for. So you're going to have to work at it, and it's going to take some time. So
Mhm.
you're going to need that income to
To help
pay your
build.
bills and
Mhm.
live and build your business.
So would you say every woman, every working woman needs to create a side business?
I would say if you're not creating a side business, then you need to goal map and have a plan. You need to have a plan in place so that if something were to happen, you can easily transition from your 9 to 5 into something else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because some people just don't want to have the hassle. Because, like you said, entrepreneurship is not an easy journey, and you have to be passionate about what you're doing to wake up every day and do it. Because there's some days it
Exactly.
just gets hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but when you are passionate about something, and I realized for myself, um I was struggling to find what I was really passionate about. Even in my entrepreneurial journey, I had so many things that I'm passionate about. I couldn't like narrow it down to one thing. Do you have clients like that they're like, "Oh my God, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do everything."
Yeah, well, I was like that, to be honest. I really was in the beginning, because I have so many passions and so many things that I love to do, and so many experiences that I, developed over the years.
Hmm.
So I had to hone it down and really get grounded into the three core things and incorporate that into my business structure. So that's what I help people do. Like, fine tune it. We're going to do goal mapping series sessions, and then we're going to fine tune everything down to what your three core things are, and then put that into entrepreneurship.
And I love that you say passion and purpose equals profitable prosperity. Sorry, prosperity, because so many times you jump into something you're passionate about, but it doesn't link you to the prosperity. It doesn't link you to the money. And so it's important to understand. So when you say when you go into those setting sessions, it's to understand what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about 10 different things, what is the fastest path to sustainable cash, right? What is the path where you can actually create a business out of this and not it just be a hobby? So that's super, super important for people to understand.
Yes, it definitely has to be packaged correctly so that it is marketable, and it's going to be something that people are going to will be willing to pay for.
Absolutely. And then, oh, this was a big one when I read this, pricing strategies. Have you found that women underprice themselves?
Yes, and the way to get beyond that is really they first have to see the value in themselves. And when they
Hmm.
truly embrace their value, then they see, oh, I am underpricing my services. This is far more valuable than I had priced it initially. So, first,
Yeah.
see their own value. If they don't see their own value in what they offer, then they're not going to price their services correctly.
Yeah, I struggled with that for a long time. I'm over that, but I struggled with that for a long time, um, because because what I was doing came so easily for me, which is one of the clues, ladies, that if something really comes easily for you, you undervalue it. Because I'm trying to remember who said this, but the thing that comes easiest for us, we value the least, and so we want to give it away. But the thing is, someone is willing to pay for that because they can't do it themselves. And so when I used to do hair and makeup as a makeup artist, I would undervalue myself because I'm like, it was so easy. I'm like, this really? You're going to pay me for this? I could do this. I could do this in 10, 15 minutes. But it's people who couldn't do it themselves. They're like, I don't know how to put a clip in my hair. I don't know how to do this. And so I would undervalue myself because it didn't take me a whole lot of time to do it. And I think that's where we get confused with what actually is the value of what I can do, especially when I mean, makeup and hair is tangible, but when it's intangible, how do you connect your value to a real dollar amount for the intangible things?
Well, they should look at the results and the benefit that this is going to be for their client.
Mm-hmm.
So their client is in a position, like you said, where they can't do this for themselves. So what is their life going to look like because of the impact that you made on them 10, 20, 30 years down the road? You can't put a price on that.
Right. Yep.
So that's something that they really need to consider when they're pricing their services.
So tell me a story about a client. You don't have to name who they are or anything that stands out most to you.
I had a client come to me because she heard me speak in a workshop. And I was talking about passion and purpose and really figuring out what you want to do and what you're great at, and how to develop and cultivate your skills and turn that into a business. So she made an appointment and we had a session. She had passion, but she was like all over the place. She didn't know what she wanted to do. She couldn't hone it in. She didn't have clarity. So the first
Mm-hmm.
thing we did was we got clarity for her and we did some goal mapping. And then she started a process to get toward the goals that she wanted to accomplish. But before, she was all over the place. She didn't have any idea of where she wanted to be. She knew that there was something on the inside of her that was greater than what she was expressing, but she didn't understand how to express it.
Wow. That's super important. Clarity is it's so important, because without it, like you said, you flounder. You're just trying everything to see what sticks. Pamela, is there something I did not ask you that you want to share with everybody before we go? And let me just put up your, once again, if you want to connect to Pamela, go to Pamela at passionpurposeprosperity.com. That's her email address. Go ahead, Pamela.
Well, I want to say that a lot of people don't realize exactly how much expertise they have hidden under the daily grind. They don't have time to cultivate it. They don't have time to think about it. So it's just there lying dormant. But there's so
Mm.
many things that we can take control over that we would not realize unless we actually slowed down, took the time to think about it, and ask someone for their opinion, a coach or a person that they feel close to. Ask them, what do you think are my best expressions that are being underdeveloped or uncultivated? And that will lead them to a greater position in life.
You're so right. Again, going back to undervaluing, a lot of people don't recognize it. You're sharing a couple things from my 7 steps to audacious confidence. Passion and purpose is one of those things that you really have to tap into. And I have something called your spiritual tags. You need to catalog and really write down what your talents, your assets, your gifts, and your skills are, and really think about them, because a lot of times we don't take the time to think about what are all the skills that we've developed since elementary school all the way up. Like, what are the things that people have said, you're so great at that, or wow, I can't believe you did that so quickly, or how did you do that? All those little things, those are assets for you. Those are skills. Those are things that are marketable. So think back as a child. What are the things that you used to do that people used to just praise you over? And write them down, you know? So thank you so much. I appreciate you, again, rescheduling with me and coming on the show and sharing these amazing little tidbits. And if you listen to what she was sharing, there are some really important nuggets in there to identify yourself with, and then connect to Pamela. Go to Pamela at passionpurposeprosperity.com. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.
All right, folks. There we go. Thank you so much. You know what? We have a couple minutes left, so I want to bring both ladies back on, because both of them were talking about women, probably the second act, as we like to call it, over 40, creating something new for yourself. Becca's talking about, getting healthy, getting strong, feeling beautiful, really, really like creating more life for yourself. And Pamela's talking about creating this passion and purpose. Maybe you've been in a job that you've just fallen into because you went to college because your parents said you needed to study this and you went to college for it. And then, you fell into this job. Now you're in this career and you're like, ugh, I just can't wait for retirement. And you're not really tapping into your passion and purpose. This is what this conversation today was about. So I want to bring them back up just to really talk about, how as women can we start identifying the shift? How can we start to really identify that we need a shift in our life? So Becca, I'm gonna let you say that first.
That's a really great question. You need a shift if you're not feeling full of life, if you're not really feeling happy, if it's hard to get out of bed, if you're feeling dragged down, if you're wanting to stay by yourself more. If you look in the mirror, and I'm not talking about body shaming, but if you look in the mirror and you feel like you're not living the best life ever, right? If you put your head down on your pillow and you're like, what did I do with my life today? Today is what is today? Today is
Saturday.
Yeah, the 26th. Today's
26th.
November the 26th. To date this whole thing, November 26th, 2022. This day only comes once in your lifetime. And at 58, I just have to say, like, I'm reflecting on, in one decade, in 10 years, we just had 1 year almost go by, right? And it went by pretty fast. And what did I achieve? I always reflect. What did I achieve? What do I want to do? How am I feeling about who I am? How I'm showing up, my family, my business, community, love, all that stuff. And I look at it and I say, okay, this is 1 year. This is going to go by 10 more times and I will be 68 years old, right? And so where do I want to be in 10 more years, 5 years, and in 1 year? So my next year, what do I want to achieve in my next year to move me forward? And I know I want to still take strong health, body, mind, a community, grow my membership so that I can support, 10,000 women within 5 years, right? And so I want you to just ask yourself, are you really feeling like this journey that you're on is fruitful for you? Or do you think like there's something more for you out there? Do you want to live healthy, or do you want to make sure your body is strong and can carry you up that mountain so you can slide in home base, like saying, I did it?
Yeah. And hit that home run. Pamela.
So it's the little things. If you're not experiencing joy for the little things in life, you're not appreciative anymore, you're tired all the time, you feel like nothing you do is good enough, you don't feel accomplished. Those are some major clues that you're not doing what excites you and what you were destined to do.
I heard a mentor of mine say something one time, and he said that if there's someone out there doing something that you are either envious, jealous, or admire, that's the thing you were meant to do as well. The jealousy and the envy, that's the negative part of it. That's the negative.
That's like a joke.
It's like, but it's what you were also meant to do, because your energy, you talked about energy, right, Becca?
Yes, absolutely.
Your energy is connected to the energy of that thing. Because I remember one time, and I'm going to tell on myself here, I went to this event and I was doing hair and makeup for some of the girls. It was it was for teens. And the speaker was on stage talking about stuff. And I felt so empty. Like I was listening to them and I literally crawled under the table to hide, because there was just something about that person being on stage speaking a message that I know I could speak, but I wasn't speaking. I was denying the speaker in me. And I was saying I couldn't do that. And it was in that moment. So when I talk about envy, jealous, I wasn't envious or jealous of them. I admired them, but there was that thing inside of me that was like, ugh, what are you doing? You're supposed to be inspired, not just sitting here putting makeup. Yes, that's doing something for them. That's helping them build their self-esteem. But there's so much more you should be doing, and you're not doing it. Get up and do it, you know?
So many of us don't get up and do it because we have fear. We have fear
Yep.
of not knowing, fear of failure. How are people going to look at us if we do something like that? You know, I lived in that space too. I totally resonate with what you're speaking about. And if somebody's listening to this and has that coveted feeling of wanting to do something, I say figure it out and go try it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, go
Step
for
out
it.
and do it. Step out and do it. Find a way
Yeah,
to
we
do
get in
it.
these
Audacious.
cycles.
Yeah. What do you think, Pamela?
I was saying we get in these cycles and we stay there because we never do anything different. And we end up in the same cycle year after year, not
Exactly.
experiencing the fullness of life that we should.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, exactly. So yes, so we're coming to the even though this is evergreen, but we've dated it a couple times, you know, talking about Black
Sorry.
Friday and and Becca actually gave the date. Um, but the thing is, don't let this time next year catch you in the same place, because if you're not moving forward to more life, you're actually going backward.
Yeah.
So don't be in the same place. Go out, do something, mentor someone, you know, share your knowledge, share your gifts with others. I think that's what a gift is. It's to be shared with others. And you know, I do these shows not because I'm making millions of dollars doing them. I do this because this is a passion of mine, to help other people have a voice, to give other people a platform to have a voice. And so I just love doing them, even though every week I say I'm not going to do this anymore, and then I end up right back here doing it because I just love doing it.
And you're
So,
quite
ladies,
good at it. You're
thank
quite
you.
good at it. And look at you use your voice to help other people raise their voice. That's amazing.
Yes, yes, and I feel like that's part of my purpose, Pamela, is to help give a voice to other people, give them a platform, give space for them to also come and shine alongside me.
And that's
You know,
amazing.
Thank you, baby.
thank you. All right, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. Happy holidays to you. And don't go anywhere. Let me just shut this show down. Hopefully you'll come again. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us on this episode of Small Business Saturday Shout Out. Listen, before I go, don't forget on Mondays, every Monday, we have our Win Win Women show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, and that's on winwinwomen.tv. I'm sorry, here it is. Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern on Win Win Women TV. So that's a show for women, all about women. My two guests that are here are welcome to come on the show too, on Win Win Women TV. And that is also broadcast on Roku, on Apple TV, and on Amazon. So join me live at 5 p.m. Eastern for Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. Also, don't forget to check out our podcast, Leading with Audacious Confidence. A new episode drops every Wednesday. So go to aliciacoury.com/podcast. And this is all about leadership. So if you're in any kind of leadership position or want to be in a leadership position, I speak to coaches, I speak to CEOs, I speak to people who are in the trenches doing the thing and asking them about, you know, what it took for them to get there. How did big mistakes, you know, how did that affect their confidence? How were they able to overcome tragic mistakes? I mean, I had someone, have you ever lost $10 million in a single day? I had someone talk about losing $10 million and how he was able to recover from that loss. And so, you know, these are people who are in leadership positions, navigating really difficult things. So check out that podcast. Go to aliciacoury.com/podcast. And Love My Body, Love Myself show will come back next year. So look out for that. That's coming back next year. And I just thank you all so much for being so supportive of all that I'm doing. And also, don't forget to, if you're on YouTube, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/C/Alicia Couri. Go subscribe and hit that notification bell so that any of these shows that we do, you will be able to get notified that they're on and they're live. Connect with me, Alicia360.com. Find out all that I'm up to, everything that's going on. And thank you all again for your votes. I know you voted for me for Fab Over 40. I came in 4th place in my category. So thank you so much for all those votes. And those of you that donated, that money did go into breast cancer research for early detection for women. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that, having gone through the journey that I just went through. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to let you go. Have the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you next time on another episode of Small Business Saturday Shout Out. Bye, everybody.